Today we're going to do a review of the D'Daddaro Pro Plus Capo with FlexFit Fretboard Pad. If you play 12 string for a while, and especially if you tune your 12 string down like a lot of 12 string players do, you end up having to do a capo whenever you play with somebody who wants to play in standard tuning, unless you want to do the transposing and stuff. And so you end up with this problem of trying to find a capo that's going to work on a 12 string. A lot of your spring type capos, like your Kaisers and stuff, don't have the string tension, particularly if you're doing at the first fret, to be able to really get the strings mashed down enough where you get clear tone on all the strings. You'll get some buzzing on some string or another. The reason for that is because the diameter of the strings for your octaves and your main pairs, they're different, and there's different amount of string tension, and those diameters, you compress the string a certain amount, and then you get the other strings either don't get sufficient pressure, or you have to crank down so hard that then it takes the strings that do make contact well, it stretches them out of tune, and so it's a constant headache. So I wanted to look at this as a possible solution. These sell for about 30 bucks. I think it was $29.99 for it where I bought it. It looks a lot like your like the regular D'Daddaro capos or the Planet Waves capo. This is kind of a Steinberger type design, real clean. Doesn't like stick to the head of your guitar like you would like with a Kaiser or something like that. I looked at G7 capos, and I don't know if you're like me, I'm not willing to spend 40, 50 bucks for a capo that I'm going to use this every now and again. And so this is in a modest price range. Well, let's just give this a try. I'm going to try this on several 12 strings and let you hear it. I'm going to go with the second fret for this one. This guitar is tuned a whole step low. And I'm going to put this on here. You kind of screw it down, and depending on the thickness of the neck, it's going to vary a little bit, and you may have to wiggle a little bit here on the end in order to get it to go. Let's see. Not too bad. The place where you normally find it is buzzing on the 6-string pairs. Let's go. Pretty impressive. Let's try moving it around a little bit. Let's go up to like the 4th fret. Now this has it's sort of a soft pad on it, and the directions here on the back there says basically this will adapt to anything from like a Telecaster style, like a classic Telecaster has like a 9-inch or 9.5-inch radius on it, which is pretty rounded, to like a 12 or 14-inch. So it's a pretty cool. All my 12 strings have slightly different neck radii. Well, pretty impressed the first time I've tried it. Okay, I'll be back with a different 12 string in just a second. All right, let's try it on the big Guild here. The neck on the Guild is wider and a little thinner, and the radius is a little flatter. There on the A, there's a little bit of a buzz. Let's see if I can maneuver it there. You can tighten it down sufficiently to, let's see. That's what you run into when you're switching from one 12 string to another. So, I'm doing the trick on the Guild. Let me try and reposition a little bit here. Sometimes you can go so you get a little bit different angle on it. Doesn't do the trick on the Guild. I've got to crank down pretty tight there. If I go right, I'm practically on top of the fret there, and I've got this thing cranked to maximum. Doesn't work on the Guild. Be back in a second with a different one. We're back. Have an Ovation. This is a 77 Ovation pacemaker. This has a more rounded contour neck. The radius is a little bit smaller on it, And I've put this on the second fret like I have done the others, and notice the 6th string pairs are deaded, but the 5th string, the others are doing just fine, but that one's not working. And I've tried to maneuver this around a little bit and crank it down as hard as I can get it. The close I get is about there. If I go right on top of the fret practically, let's see if I can get it there. Nope, as you're seeing. So I'm gonna go all the way down, so it's it's extreme. So the very top of the capo is right up against the neck. Now I just add a little pressure pulling it that way. It's still not completely ringing clear. And the strings are just a little bit out. Putting more pressure on the A string than it's bending it more extreme. Discovery time on this thing. So I put it on here, as you saw, it didn't work, and I got playing around with this a little bit, and you notice this little rubber thing on the top. This actually, it felt kind of loose. I'm going, this is really supposed to be that loose? And what I realized is that this thing actually kind of rotates like this. So you can, this rubber piece, it's got different thicknesses, and so you could vary this with the depth of your neck. I guess that's what that's supposed to do, like that. And so what I did is I took it around and put the thickest setting down, and then we come back up to the Ovation where it didn't work before. And if I crank this puppy down now, let's see what we got. Well, hold there, look. It's not really super tight, really great, but it's better than it was. It does have a thickness there. Let me kind of line that up. There we go. Try just for the 4th fret, just for grins. Yeah, you can crank it down, it'll do it. Let's try it on the guild then. All right, hang tight. Okay, so now before having turned that little rubber thing, and now I've got a little more pad there. Now is the A strings on the guild that didn't work before. Now I'm getting a clean note. So, not bad. Well, let's revise this. I started out kind of disappointed, going like, "Oh, this thing's not going to do the trick." But realizing that this little thingy here on the top, that this rubber thing rotates and turns, and there's different thicknesses, that does make a difference, and it did make it work better on the ones that didn't work the first time. So I was going to give this thing like a D, and like maybe a D plus, because it really, 2 out of 3 guitars, it really didn't do it. But after discovering how this thing works, give it maybe an A minus. Give it the A minus because they ought to stay on the package that this thing is supposed to turn like this. because otherwise you just think, oh, that's kind of sloppy, and maybe it's just not on there good. But once you realize that that little rubber pad is intended to move, that makes a little more sense. So maybe they need to put some more instructions on the package so that you know what it's supposed to do. So let's revise this up to an A minus, possibly decent working 12-string capo. That's not going to cost you $45, $50, $100 like some of the others I've seen. Well, thanks for watching the channel today. Check back for more gear reviews and string reviews and sound checks and things like that. And like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you around next time here on the channel. Bye.